Yo, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be going over the top 5 things to do to your 3000 GT VR4. Alright, so number 1 on the list, and I know it's not really considered a mod, but it's going to be to do your maintenance. Yo, I know maintenance is not very fun or exciting, and it can be expensive, but it's definitely worth it. You don't want to go and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on modifications, upgrades, cool looking stuff, whatever it may be, and then you were behind on your maintenance and something happened to your engine, something happened to your car, and now you don't have the money to fix it and you can't even drive it, can't even enjoy it. So make sure you stay on top of your maintenance. These cars are getting old. They're anywhere from like 22 to 32 years old. So you want to make sure you're on top of your maintenance. There could be things in your car that need to be replaced that have never been replaced. That means there are parts in there that you're expecting to work perfectly that are 30 years old, could be worn out, damaged, just need a time for replacement. If you just got your car, you might not know the history. And even if somebody told you, oh, I replaced this, if you want to take their word for it, go for it, but you should also double check and make sure those things are in good condition. They don't need to be replaced, they don't need to be worked on. Make sure things like your timing belt, your accessories belt, your water pump, your thermostat, your fuel filter, all things like that, your spark plugs, those have been at least replaced in the last couple years. If it's a brand new car, if you just got it, I'd go through and I'd replace pretty much all the things that I just mentioned and more. You can look up 60K maintenance, 120K maintenance, 5-year maintenance on these cars. There's a lot of information out there, but at least go through and check before you start pouring money into other modifications and your car might not be running like it should in the first place. Alright, and number 2 is going to be a boost gauge. Now, if you just got the car, maybe if you've had it for a while, you might think, oh, my car already has a boost gauge. It's built into the car. That is not a boost gauge. It may say it's a boost gauge. You may think it's a boost gauge. It is not a boost gauge. It is not measuring the amount of boost in your car. It is more a load meter, load bearing meter. It is not telling you how much boost you have, how much boost you're pushing, nothing like that. So it's a good idea to go get a boost gauge. They can vary in prices dramatically. I know you can go buy one for 50 bucks, you can go buy one for 350 bucks. When it comes to these gauges, it's like a lot of other things. The more you spend, the better quality you're going to get. A $300 boost gauge is going to be a lot more accurate. It's going to be a lot more durable. It's going to last a long time. It's going to be made with quality parts. But even your $50 boost gauge is actually still going to tell you, at least pretty accurately, how much boost you're running in your car. And that's an important thing to know. You want to know if you're over boosting, if you're under boosting, if your car is performing the way that it should be. You can go get a $50 boost gauge on Amazon, do like an auto meter or something, and it's still going to be pretty accurate. If anything, go buy, a boost gauge that you can afford comfortably right now, and then just plan on upgrading it in the future when you have more money to spend on the car maybe, and getting AEM or something that's of really, really high quality, really, really accurate, and that'll be better, but it's still good to have some kind of boost gauge so you do see relatively where you're at with boost. Another thing I'll throw into the number 2 could be a manual or electronic boost controller. Right now, your car is relying on a 30-year-old solenoid to determine how much boost you have, how much boost you're running. Now, it might work great, but you have to remember this is a piece of equipment that is 20 to 30 years old, and there's no way for you to manage if you want higher boost, lower boost, anything like that. You get yourself a manual boost controller or an electronic boost controller, and you can determine how much boost you're pushing. Now don't go crazy, research first. Don't throw a manual boost controller and be like, I'm going to turn this thing up to 30 pounds. And do not get a boost controller if you are not getting a boost gauge. You need a boost gauge to get yourself a boost controller, otherwise you're going to have no way of determining how much boost you're pushing and you risk breaking things on your car. So to sum it up, a boost gauge definitely, and you could do a manual or electronic boost controller, but do not get the controller and not the gauge. Alright guys, Number 3 is going to be a cheap option, and it's pretty easy to do. It's going to be a fuel pump relay kit. Now these are like 20-30 bucks. Go to 3sx.com, fuel pump relay kit, and all it's going to do is it's going to make sure that your car, your fuel pump, is getting 12 volts of continuous power. Now right now, your fuel pump, it needs 12 volts, and it technically can get 12 volts, but every time you use something that uses power, like your headlights, your blinker, different things on your dash, stuff like that, it's actually drawing power from what should be going to your fuel pump, and it's going to these other accessories, and it's lowering how much power your fuel pump is getting from like 12 to 11, 10, 9, and etc. You want your fuel pump to be getting a constant supply of 12 volts. So this kit, super simple, super easy to install, super cheap, and it's just going to make sure that your fuel pump is always getting the power that it needs, especially if you're going to be upgrading your fuel pump. If you get a new fuel pump, you throw it in there, you want to make sure that it's getting the power that it needs. And that kind of ties into this. You can upgrade your fuel pump at the same time. The stock ones are decent, they're not fantastic. You can get a pretty good fuel pump, a Walbro, something like that, for pretty inexpensive, and you get this relay kit at the same time. You're going to be getting a good fuel pump. It's going to be pumping plenty of fuel for your engine, and you're going to make sure that you have plenty of power going to it. Absolutely though, if you're upgrading your fuel pump, definitely get the relay kit. I would recommend the relay kit even if you're sticking to your stock fuel pump. But I would also recommend getting a new fuel pump. The one in your car right now, it's probably the original one, which means that fuel pump is 20 to 30 years old, and you can get a new one for pretty inexpensive and will do a fantastic job, and you can get the power that it needs to it. Now number 4 and number 5 are pretty interchangeable, and they're also kind of the cliche answers that you hear on a lot of these videos. But number 4, we're going to go with wheels and suspension. Now me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the stock wheels. That's obviously personal preference, but there's a lot of really cool wheels out there. Just make sure that you're doing all the research you can to make sure that those wheels are going to fit your car. If you have a first gen, be extra cautious. Most wheels out there will not clear your brakes. If you're running second gen, it's a lot easier to find wheels that will clear your brakes, but do your research. Make sure that to the best of your knowledge that they will fit your car. And a tie into that is suspension. These cars honestly do have pretty good suspension. It's electronic, so you can actually change it if you want it to be stiffer or more soft so it's more comfortable, or better for aggressive driving. But they do, in my opinion, have your car really high up off the ground. I mean, you have inches of wheel clearance, and depending on what it is you're going for, you might like that, you might not, but wheels and suspension are going to be my number 4 pick. Number 5 is going to be exhaust. Now this can be interchanged with number 4. These kind of just are up to what it is that you want out of your car, but number 5 will be exhaust, specifically your resonator and your cats. Now me right now, I'm running the stock exhaust, but I have gutted my cats and I do not have a resonator. So my car's quite a bit louder than it was originally, but I still have a lot of the original parts. I can still make my car louder or quieter with the push the button on the inside, and it still looks stock from the back. The resonator delete is definitely the easiest option and is fairly inexpensive while loudening up your car quite a bit. You can also gut your cats, or you can buy cats that is just the pipe and doesn't have any of the catalytic converter actually in it. Buying your downpipes can be kind of expensive. That's why, like me, I chose to just gut them myself, take your exhaust off. It is quite a bit of work. It can be very time consuming, but it doesn't cost you anything to gut your own cats. Now, obviously, these 5 things are just my personal preference. It is not an absolute set in stone. These are the 5 things you have to do to your car. It's just my preference, what I think 5 really good things to do your car are. Also, a quick note, anything that you go and you replace on your car, you upgrade, you change, whatever it may be, keep your stock, keep your OEM parts for many reasons. One being, you sell them. You might not be able to find a part like that if you want to ever revert back to OEM. They don't make a lot of these parts anymore. So it's a good idea to hold on to it, because if you change your mind, if you want to revert back for whatever reason, you already have the part. You don't have to go over there and try to find one, find somebody selling one, pay God knows how much for whatever kind of part it is. At least then you have it. You have a backup in case whatever you upgraded, something goes wrong, or if you just want to revert back in the future, you definitely can. You already have the parts. You don't have to go looking for them. You don't have to go paying for them. You have them ready at your disposal. All right, and that about sums it up. thank you guys for watching the video. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. If you have any suggestions for like future ideas, future content, I'd love to hear them. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time.